Hi, and welcome to Spreadsheets for Accounting. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the syllabus for the AAT Spreadsheet for Accounting course. I've got it up here just for spreadsheet design and formatting, and then we'll go through the other parts in other videos as well. We'll break this up as well into various sort of sections. I've got the syllabus here, and so you can keep tracking this video. I'll move the color down to show you where we are. So let's say if we were at custom formatting, you can go backwards and forwards, but you can see the list in the syllabus here in terms of where we are. And let's just get on with it. The advantage of doing this by video means that you can actually see how my cursor is moving around. So this is the cursor moving around here, and we'll see how it goes. So let's start with the first one, adjusting and setting column width and row height. So these are our columns here in letters. These are our rows in numbers on the left-hand side, and you can see how my cursor is changing in here. So if you want to adjust and change the column width in here, get on the line here between two columns in here, and you can see how the cursor's changed. Go from there to there, and you can adjust your column that way. As you adjust it, the width will come along and tell you what it is, so you can adjust it by hand like that. Alternatively, you can go and right click. So you can see how I went into the actual column here. The letter shade changed. I right click. In there, then I've got my options. Up will come this little sort of option table here of what we can go for. And we've got column width here, column width there, left click in that, and you can set your column width. So let's say the question said set the column width to 11. There we go, set to 11, and that column width changes. So that's column width. What about row width? So same sort of thing here. We can see as soon as we get between two of the numbers there, our little cursor changes, and we could change our row height here. So there's our row height, column width, row height. Same thing, right clicking it if you wanted to do that there though. Up comes the menu, row height, and let's change that to 40. There we are. So that is adjusting setting column height, width, and row height. Okay. Now let's get into here. Advanced formatting. Advanced formatting and conditional formatting. We'll do this a couple of times anyway. It doesn't matter. And we've got two ways that we can change our colors. We can change it up here. This is called fill here. So if we were just going to fill this manually, let's go through. There's a manual fill. And we've changed it there. So we come into here, this one, there's a drop-down box here, and we're going to change it to whatever color we want it to be. So that's a manual fill. But let's not do that. We want to have manual fills. Let's just clear that one out. No fills. Instead, we're going to have an advanced formatting here. So I'm going to put some numbers in, and let's say 10, 20, 30, and minus 10, minus 30. Okay. And it's saying it want negative figures colored green. So we're going to have this sort of thing where certain numbers are going to be colored in a particular point here. And so this comes into conditional formatting here. So we're in the Homes tab, conditional formatting, and we open it up by this little triangle here, this tiny triangle here, open it up, and we've got rules in here. So let's create a new rule. And so here we go. When we're clicking this one here, we've got these various rules here, and we can have these various options where we can format cells based on their values or top them. There are a whole series of different ones in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use format to determine which cells to format. This one at the bottom here, I'm going to use formula. I'm going to use a formula to determine which cells to format. And now we've got this one. Up comes the box. Okay. Now, in this one, we've got two kind of things. We've got what's known as a logic test. And I'll go through logic tests in a second. Let's actually do logic tests in a whole different sheet, shall we? I'll make this bigger. Okay, what is a logic test? Oh, we've got two different types. One which is going to operate in this spreadsheet in here. So we're going to write it out as an equation, equals if that, let's say, is greater than 0, comma, put in 100, otherwise put in 0. Okay, so that's a logic test. So what's the logic? If something is this, do this, little equation in front. Otherwise, do that. And let's make that bigger as well. To here. This is where you can make your screen size bigger, this little plus minus down here. So let's come back into this one here. That's a logic test within the spreadsheet. If this, do this, otherwise do that. I'm going to break that logic test now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if it is equal to 100, that, but then I'm not going to give the option of doing something else. Okay, and you see it came up with a false there. It said, well, it wasn't that, so it's false. Sometimes you want to use that. But that's not how logic test works in conditional formatting. So we've got a second type of logic test in conditional formatting. It's going to be if something, let's say in this case it was trying to find negative numbers, is less than that. It's just 1. And that's how a logic test works in conditional formatting. It's just basically saying if it's this, do this. If it's this, true. Right. So let's go back into our method here. We've got a logic test. We've gone in here. We're going to format these cells here. So we're after this advanced formatting, cells going to green, and also conditional formatting. We'll come into here, click down, new rules, format to determine which cells to format. Okay, so if A3 is less than 0, comma 1. Okay, so that was our equation. And we're going to set the format, and we wanted to color it green, did we? So we go into here, this is our formats. We've got numbers, fonts, borders, and fills. Green. There we are. Okay, so what did that equation look like? It looked like that. Let me just try and put that in. All right. It looks like this up here. If A3 is equal to 0, you can see that it creates that little false in here. So that's conditional formatting and advanced format. Clearing cells. Okay, clearing cells. Highlight the cells that you want to clear. So to highlight a cell, we click in the cell, keep your finger on the left mouse, slide down, delete. And then changing cell fill color. So changing cell fill color is here. Changing, we're going to have this cell here. Changing cell fill color is here. This one here, this little paint click pot. Left click on the little arrow down, and then we can change it to whatever color we want. If we wanted to branch out, we've got more colors. We've got this more colors down here, and you come up with this whole different method here. You can even custom it if you want to by picking anything based upon, tonal values or whatever. I wanted to do that. Okay, that's changing fill cell color here. Comments box, shown high. So comments box, go into a cell, right click, and up comes the menu. So here's a menu in here, and we have this option here, insert comment. So up then comes this comment here, and this is a comment. Okay, you'll see that little red triangle appears now. And when we hover over the thing, up comes comment. So you can sort of see where it's going up. And if we don't want to get rid of it, we right click into the cell, delete the comment. Okay. Conditional formatting. We've just done that, but I'll do that again because conditional formatting is a interesting one. So let's say we want to find in this one here all numbers. I'm going to have some random numbers here. All the numbers that are 200, let's say. So let's highlight the area. Up into conditional formatting. New rule. And we've got this user formula to determine which cells to format. We're then going to apply a logic test into it. So equal to logic test within conditional formatting, not a logic test within the spreadsheet. If, and let's go A6 is equal to 200, we're going to comma 1. So if A6 is equal to 200, comma, do this. Into the formats. Let's pick the formats in here. I'm going to want to turn it to, instead of doing the fill, which I did last time in here, I'll pick a font. So I want to pick a different font color in here, and I'm going to go for that weird brown thing. There we go. Return to our weird brown thing. Let's go back into here now then and adjust this one. So let's say we got it wrong. We need to now fix it in an exam. We're going to conditional formatting. Instead of going to new rules, we're going to manage the rules here. So let's go through in here, and you can see where I had the last conditional formatting from earlier on in this video. So here's our thing here. I'm going to edit this rule here, and actually it wasn't change that font, it was to fill it into here. Fill, let's go for that one there. Okay. And we then apply that. So that's conditional formatting. It's very powerful because when you have different sets of rules, whatever you wanted to copy it and compare and sort of go through a whole big massive list of data, conditional formatting is really useful. Or in reports, it's really useful when you're sort of highlighting adverse variances or what have you. Okay, copying, spacing, including paste specials and values and linking, right? So we're going to copy. Let's say we're going to copy this now here. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make this into an equation. So let's have an equation equals, and then it's going to be the previous cell plus 100. So now to turn that into an equation, just for the purpose of this one. And you can see here, as we had our old formatting stuff set up here, it's gone into that. Now, there's a few ways that I could copy this. So let me just delete that out again. I can either have the cell in here, and you can see this little tiny square here. I can get hold of that, left click, and I can drag it down. That's one way of dragging it. It will then drag and do the equations. Right, we'll see how that works later on. But let's say we want to copy this now. So I'm going to copy this one. I can do two ways. I can either I can highlight, so I go into a cell here, and instead of hitting this drag thing down here, I am in the middle of it. I left click and I go down to highlight it. So this here is drag on the left-hand corner, going into the middle. That there is highlight. You can see that drag actually sort of makes things happen. The left click in the middle and dragging is just highlighting. Okay, so I can copy in two ways. I can go into here, copy. Well, actually, I can do it in three ways. I can right click, copy there. I can copy here. So copy it there. Or I can just go Control C, copy there. And you can see that once I hit the copy, Excel gets excited, and I've got this little thing going around, spinning around, and now I can decide where I'm going to paste it. So I can go here, and I could paste it. I've got my paste options here. I can just paste it as normal, so I can right click, I can paste it as normal. I could paste as formulas, so I could keep the formulas in. So I'm just going to paste the formulas in, but not the formats. So that would be paste everything, formulas and formats. Just paste the formulas, don't paste the formats. Paste the formulas and the number formatting, but nothing else. And I could keep the original source formatting. But alternatively, I've got these other ones here, like paste values in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste this as values. I'm going to paste values in here. Now, let's see if we can. So here we've got the equation equals A5 plus 100. Here we've just got the numbers. So paste value took out the formula and it just turned it into numbers, and can be really useful when you're trying to sort of send over documents and you need to just remove all of the actual massive amount of calculations that are going on and what have you. Paste formulas just clears it, makes it go faster. Alternatively, you don't want people to have the equations, whatever, you can paste formulas. So it can be useful from that point of view. But you can see here I pasted formulas. I didn't want to paste the formats. So that's including the format. And when you pasted values, it took the formats out. So, oh, actually, I really wanted that format in there. So I'm going to copy and paste. So I'm going to copy in here. I'm going to go over this one here, like that. And instead, I'm going to go into my paste. As I've right-clicked, I'm going to go into my paste specials. And I actually want to paste the formats. Let's find the formats one in here. So formulas would be there. No, formulas. Let's find our formats. There's our formatting. Paste our formats. I can do that way. Alternatively, I could go into here and what can I do? There's ones up here. So there we go. There's my paste formats as well. So the thing with Excel is there's lots of different ways to do things. So let's now take this all out, clear those cells. And that is then conditional formatting and copy and pasting. Copy and pasting, including special values. Currency formatting. Okay, so 1,000 here, but we want to now put some currency in there, a little pound sign in front of it. Okay, so here we are. We go into the cell. So left click into the cell to highlight it. Right click. Up comes our menu. And we're going to format the cell. So here we go, format the cells in here. And we're going to go down, and when we do our format the cells up here, up comes this little menu. We've got lots of different options in here. And in this one, because we're currency formatting, we're going to go into custom. Oh no, we do have currency. We have currency there, so we could currency it this way in here. So that will be one method to do it. But you can see how here we've got this symbol here, so we can change it to our various currency in here. If we wanted to, like dollars anywhere, we can. Ooh, so sure, in here. No, let's go for whatever that is. The Chinese macro SAR, whatever that is. Okay, there we go, the mop. Right, so we got those options there, and then we got 2 decimal places. So you'd find your various currency. There's an alternative, which is into here. And we can see that we've got our currency in here, and we've got this custom one at the bottom. There's a currency one for pounds there. It's also as well put a little comma in. So let's go back up to here to currency, and let's say we didn't want the comma in. We'd have to, let's go back and put our pounds back in. So we've got this pounds in here, but we didn't want the comma. And we've got our 2 decimal places here because we want our pence. We don't want the pence there. We're going to drop that to that. And so we take that out, and we don't fancy having the comma in. How would we do that? Well, we have to go into this custom one here. You can see the pounds in the front of it. We got numbers, then we got this little comma. We'd have to take out the comma like that in the custom one. So we can. So you got 2 options here: currency, which is one that you can use, and custom, which is the more advanced version of it, where you can start to really play around with it, and you can do different colors. So let's say we're going to have it's going to be red if it's going to less than 0. So we'll put that into there, and let's now put minus 10,000 in there. You can see how it went red. And because I'd left the formatting on previously as well for that conditional formatting, that also turned it green. So we'll see how our formats are all changing around. Okay, so we got that. We got custom formatting. So now we're at customer formatting that we were discussing earlier. I'm now going to clear out this one. So I'm going to highlight into this column here, and I come into here and I've deleted out that column there. I'm going to put a new column in, just because I want to have a clear all the formatting. Let's check. Yes. Right. So custom formatting dates and times. So let's put in here 100. Okay, but actually that's date. So we highlight the cell, right click in the cell, format the cells. Yeah, as we were up to here, we got these various ones. We just did currency, didn't we? We've now got date and we've got time. Let's do date first. So here's a date here, and press enter, and you can see here that 100 in Excel was 100 days past, the year 1900. So each day in Excel, a number in Excel is, 1 is a day, and if we then change this, let's change this to 31st 8th 2020. And I'm going to switch this back to numbers. So I've right-clicked, come back into numbers in here, and you can see that is 44,074. Let's put another date on here, +1. Okay, and then let's go highlight both of them. So we click in that cell, kept our finger on the left mouse, drag down. So we highlighted it. Right click into format cells here, and then we've got our various options. Pick date down to here, And I've got my options of my dates. I'm going to go for that one. And you can see how that was just one day further. Let's drag this further down. That's more. I'm going to do some other formats. So format cells here. But now we've got custom, so it says custom formatting. So we've got some custom formats of dates and times here. And you can see that this went in here. We've gone into custom formatting and we've seen that it's come up with a date in the format that's currently using, which is 2 Ds, which is the day number, 2 Ms, which is the month number, and then 4 Ys, the year number, with this little slashes before them. Let's say they don't want that though. They want to have it in months. So I deleted out the date. I put 3 in there, so we're now going to change the number here to the actual sort of Jan or whatever. And let's see what happens now. See, that went set. And I didn't fancy that one. Don't fancy the little slash in between. I've got a little dash in between there. I've gone into that custom cells. Let's change that. So I highlight into here. I right click. So I can do that again. I click in the middle of the cell to highlight it. I right click to bring up format cells. Once we bring up a menu, I pick format cells. I'm in a date one at the moment, but I'm going to go down to this custom one because I want to make it something different. And I can only really have two numbers I've got there, but I'm going to go for, I want a little dashes rather than the backslashes. I want months in the name, take out the backslashes, and I only want 2 of the things. And you can see here it's giving the sample as we're going along. So I want it to look like that. There. Okay. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to add an extra day on. You see how that held its current formatting? I'm going to drag down here, so that went and moved its formatting. That overtook the formatting as I copied down. And then instead I'm going to go, right, well, I want to actually have that formatting applied to all the other ones. So I'm going to copy here. I'm going to go over to here. I've right-clicked. I've got my paste special in here, and I'm going to pick my formats. There. Okay. So I've got those kind of options here. I also as well, and if I wanted to do that, let's do this a different way for the paste special here. So I got that paste there, I've got copy, and I've got paste special here. And I could do this differently. Instead of doing that nice little one which I went along to the clipboard, instead I've got the options here. And I really want to be able to sort of see what's going on here. I'm going to pick paste format. So I'm going to go, so this copy. Boom. Highlighted the cells that I want to paste there. I'm going to paste there, paste special. I'm going to formats for that one. And you can see how they've changed as well. So various lots of different ways, mainly because Excel's built up over years. You've got different methods. So we got that one. Let's now change this and put some times in. So time format here, 9 o'clock, and then we go 9:15. But let's format that cell. We'll change that back to a number. Okay, so this is time in number format for Excel. So we've got these numbers here. We're going to change them into time format. So we highlight them, format cells, and we've got these various options here. So we've got time. And we've got some time options here, so we can go for that one. So I change it to that. Hours, minutes, seconds. So that's our time format. There. Okie dokie. So what we've got then is we've got a whole different set of different formats that we can have. Now we've got decimal formats including 1,000 separator. Okay. 1,000 here. But what I want is I want to have 2 decimal places to the right, my pence in there, and I want a little comma in this one here. Highlight the cell. Right click. Up comes our menu. Format cells into here. And I've got various options. I got a number here. And if I go into number, oh, there's the decimal places there. And I've also got this new number separator. And so you can see the sample is putting a little comma there and the 2 decimal places. I could do it that way. Do it slightly differently. So I'll highlight the cell, right click, format cells. And I've got custom. And I can start to pick them down here. I can pick here, I've got this one here, but that's not doing it for me because I've not got my little things that in my little decimal places, I could do that. But let's say I'm just going to write it out myself. So I've got this little hashtag, which is the number, comma, numbers, and then a 0. So that's the 3 there. I'm going to put dot 0 at the end of it. See that one? Hang on. Format cells. Wasn't into here. Right cell. Custom. There we go. Okay, so that's decimal formatting, including 1000 separator. Find and replace. So find and replace in the home screen. So here's our tabs across the top. In the home screen, find and replace. Find. Let's see whether we can do it on here. So there's a find what 1000 and replace with 1100. This will work. Let's give it a whirl. Oh, it did. Yeah. So there we go. And it tells us we had to. So very much like Word, this one. So yeah, and it will share Word and Excel is going to share a lot of different functionality between it. So find and replace is up here, and you can sort of find things and replace it with it. Allows you to go through spreadsheets. It won't go into equations and change it. It won't go and change your equations around, but it will change hard-coded figures. Formatting text cells, fonts, and bold size. So I'm in here. Okay. So here is our formatting sort of side here. In the Home tab, we got our formatting here. You probably could. You also as well could right-click it up here. Sorry, right-click in here. So we go into the cell, right-click, and we got the same kind of things coming up again and again. So there's our bold. There's italics. What we're going to go for font type. Font type is this one here. So let's change it to Arial. Color. There's the color of the font. Change it into red. And the size here, 20. There you go. So those are our different ones here. So we've got two different options. So we can either right-click in the cell and up will come that one there, or alternatively we're in the home page and it's there. So let's switch the bold off and the italics off. Change it back to black. Change it back to Calibri and back to 11. So those are our options really in terms of where we're going. So we've got our drop down menu here. Up comes our menu by clicking on that little arrow there, and let's go back to Arial. There's our fill, but that's not going to be changing the font type. There you go. It's yellow. Awful. There's our bold. If you wanted to underline it as well, we have underline there, and we can double underline if you wanted to. So that is our font types and freezing rows and columns. So this is the last one here. This one. I'm going to do this on a separate sheet here. Just drag this across here. Get ourselves a big lump of data. And you can see when we're going over here, we're losing our left-hand side here. And let's say this is just going to be our header rows here. And we will drag this down. As soon as we start moving around in this spreadsheet, we're losing the left-hand side and we're losing the top. So we want to keep those. So what we do is, let's say we want to keep this column on the left-hand side and this column on the top here. Now, we go into this cell here. So you click into the cell where you want the breakpoint here. So we want to keep this here and this here. So you click in that cell there. Okay. And then we're going to go into page layout. Is it page layout? View, sorry, into the view. So we've got the view tab here, and then we've got this thing called freeze panes here. So we click on that little arrow down there, and you can have freeze panes, which would be both. When you click both there, and as we slide across, we're holding the left, and as we slide down, we keep the top. That can be useful when you're trying to sort of go through big sheets of data to sort of know what the actual header was, and what was the titles up here, what was the titles down across here. So that's one option. This little undo here. So this is undo and redo. Undo and redo. So, oh, sorry, undo and redo on that thing, but we can get that. I'm going to now come back in so I'm going to unfreeze those panes. So I've reset it. Come back into here, and I'm just going to freeze the top row. I wasn't interested in keeping the left-hand side, so that was freeze the top row. Unfreeze the panes again, and I'm going to freeze the left-hand side, the first column. Yeah, there's one there. Let's see if we can go on here. Freeze our panes there, and if we go to the left, you can see it's kept A and B there. So in terms of our columns, A and B, let's unfreeze that again. Now we do have as well split pane. So what we got as an alternative here is split pane in here, and you can see at this point here, I've got if I go for split pane, I've got these things here, so I can slide that across there, and I can now start splitting the pane. And what this does here is I can be working over here one bit, and working over here as well. I can move that around as well. So that's split pane, which allows us to sort of break the spreadsheet up into different sections, and freeze pane, which is more to be able to sort of read the page. You use split pane if you're wanting to work away on two bits of the spreadsheet without going backwards and forwards, and use freeze pane really for sort of being able to read the spreadsheet and keeping your sort of titles, it's always in the page. Right, so let's go back to that one. So that is freezing rows and columns. That's taken us to the end of this particular section, and then we'll go into these ones over here. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.